Have you ever looked around your life and wondered, what is really helping me grow? And what is secretly holding me back? Why do we carry so many things silently that hurt us inside? We all smile outside, but deep within, there are quiet weights we never talk about. Why is it that we know what hurts, yet we don't let go? Every day we check our phones, scroll through endless noise, smile at people, go to work, and return home. But still, something feels heavy, something unspoken. It's like a quiet pain we never tell anyone about. Imagine holding a glass of water straight out in front of you. At first, it's light, but if you hold it for hours, your hand begins to ache. That's exactly how emotional burdens work. The longer you carry them, the heavier they become, even if no one else can see them. There are things we must delete from our lives, in silence, not with noise, not with drama, but quietly, deeply, peacefully. And that's exactly what this journey will be about. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. This channel shares simple, powerful lessons rooted in timeless truths, especially from the heart of Buddhism. Here, we talk about real change, not with pressure, but with peace. If you feel even a little shift inside you while watching, then please stay with us. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. Why? If you like our work, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. You being here matters more than you think. In this journey, through 12 gentle parts, we will explore the invisible enemies living in our minds and hearts. Some are loud, like anger. Some are quiet, like self-doubt. But all of them need to go. Slowly, silently. Buddha once said, "Drop by drop, the water pot is filled." Let these videos be your drops of calm. Bit by bit, your life can change, without force, without fear. Just watch, feel, and begin. Let's step into silence and start letting go. Shall we begin? Ego, the illusion that binds you. Sit down for a moment. Breathe. No need to rush. Let the world outside keep spinning. You are here now, with me. Just listen. There's something inside you. It walks with you. It talks with you. It tells you, this is who I am. It says, I'm better, or sometimes, I'm not good enough. It compares. It competes. It wants to win. It wants to be right. And if someone disagrees with it, it feels hurt or angry. That thing is called ego. The ego is not your enemy, but it is also not your true self. It is like a mask you wear for the world. It looks like you. It speaks like you. But it is not you. It is only pretending. Ego is like a shadow. It follows you everywhere, but it has no real form. Let me tell you a simple Zen story. A young student came to the master and said, I want to learn the truth. The master smiled and handed him a full cup of tea. The student was confused. The master kept pouring until the tea spilled over. The student shouted, Stop. The cup is full. The master looked at him and said, Exactly. You are full of yourself. How can I pour truth into you? That is what ego does. It fills the cup with me, mine, I. And when the cup is full of ego, no wisdom can enter. No peace can stay. Even happiness leaks out. Ego is tricky. It wears many clothes. Sometimes it looks like pride. Sometimes like fear. Sometimes it hides in the desire to be right, to win arguments, to be praised, to be noticed. Other times, it hides in victimhood, wanting others to feel sorry for you, needing attention even in sadness. But what does Buddhism teach us about the ego? Buddhism says that ego is an illusion. It is not something solid. It is a thought, a belief, a habit. It is like mist on a mirror. You think it's the mirror, but it is only blocking the true reflection. Buddha never said, destroy your ego with violence. He said, understand it. Watch it. See how it moves. So let's look. When someone praises you, do you feel big inside? When someone criticizes you, do you feel small? That is ego reacting. When you feel superior or inferior, it's the same ego, just changing clothes. Ego builds walls. It says, I am this. You are that. We are not the same. But the truth is, beneath the skin, beneath the roles we play, we are all one. Have you ever fought with someone and later thought, why did I say that? That wasn't me. You're right. That wasn't your true self. It was your ego, afraid of being wrong, afraid of being small, afraid of not being in control. Ego always wants control. But the funny thing is, the more ego tries to control life, the more it suffers. Because life cannot be controlled. Life is like the wind. You cannot grab it. You can only dance with it. Ego also fears silence. In silence, ego starts to disappear. That's why many people cannot sit quietly for long. Their ego starts screaming, do something, say something, be someone. But if you stay still, ego will melt and your real self will shine. The ego is like a loud drum, beating to prove its own sound. But your soul is like the ocean, deep, quiet, infinite. There's another story. A wise monk walked through the forest with his students. They met a warrior known for his pride. The warrior shouted, "Monk, move aside. I'm stronger than you." The monk smiled gently and said nothing. The students were angry. "Master, why didn't you say something back?" The monk replied, "When someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, who does it belong to?" The students answered, "To the giver." The monk said, "Exactly. I do not accept his ego, so it is still his." That is the way. You don't have to fight ego with more ego. You just don't accept it. You stay grounded. You remain calm. Now, ask yourself this. Who are you when you are not trying to prove anything? Who are you when no one is watching? That is closer to your real self. Letting go of ego doesn't mean you become weak. It means you become real. You stop performing. You start living. You don't have to win. You don't have to shine. You just have to be. And when you're truly being, without the ego's noise, you feel something strange, peace. A peace that doesn't depend on praise or power. A peace that doesn't rise and fall like ego. A peace that simply is. In Buddhism, this is called no self or anatta. It doesn't mean you don't exist. It means your idea of I is flexible, open, free, not tight, not heavy, like a bird in the sky, flying, but not holding anything. Let's take a moment now. Sit still. Imagine yourself as space, open, clear, no name, no title, no story, just this breath, just this moment. You're not your job. You are not your mistakes. You are not your success. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are not even your thoughts. You are the awareness behind all of them, watching, witnessing, free. Every time you feel the urge to prove something, pause. Smile. Ask yourself, is this my truth? Or is it my ego speaking? That one small question can save you so much pain. People fight for years, break relationships, chase dreams that are not even theirs, all because of ego. Ego says, I must win. Wisdom says, I must understand. Now, listen closely. When you truly understand ego, you will not hate it. You will not fight it. You will simply see it for what it is, a small cloud passing across the sky of your mind. It comes, it goes. You, the sky, remain. From this place of no ego, you become soft, yet strong. You can forgive. You can accept. You can love without conditions. This is what Buddha taught. Not to fight the world, but to see through the illusion. Ego is the biggest illusion. And once you see through it, you are free. So, from today, begin watching the ego. Don't shout at it. Just smile at it. And gently return to silence. Because in silence, ego cannot survive. And in that silence, you will finally meet yourself. Anger, the fire that burns the holder first. Zen Master sat quietly under the Bodhi tree. The wind was calm. The leaves whispered secrets only the still heart could hear. He looked at the disciple and asked, Tell me, child, when a flame burns too long, what happens? The disciple replied, It dies out, or it burns everything. The master nodded. Anger is the same. When it rises, it blinds. When it stays, it destroys. But when seen clearly, it disappears like mist. And so, let us begin today's journey into the truth of anger. A truth most never want to face, but one that frees the soul. Anger, it visits everyone. The old, the young, the wise, the innocent. No one is untouched by it. But the difference lies in how we respond. Most people believe anger comes from others. He made me angry. She insulted me. This world is unfair. But the Buddha taught, anger does not come from outside. It rises from within, like smoke from hidden firewood. You see, the spark is outside, The fire is inside. Why we get angry? Because we expect. We expect people to behave a certain way. We expect life to go as we planned. We expect respect, love, attention, results. And when that doesn't happen, anger comes in quietly, like a thief. It takes away peace first, then words, then wisdom. But the wise don't fight anger. They don't shout or suppress it. They watch it. Yes, simply watch. One day, a student asked the Zen Master, "Should I express my anger or hide it?" The Master smiled and said, "Do neither. First, sit with it. Watch it. Let it rise fully. Let your body feel it. But don't let it guide your actions or your tongue. Let it pass. Anger is like a storm. If you don't walk into it, it will pass over you. Here is a truth. Anger hurts you more than it hurts others. The moment you raise your voice, your breath shortens, your chest tightens, your blood boils. Do you know who is suffering the most in that moment? You, even if the other person is wrong. Your anger is your suffering, not theirs. You hold it. You feel it. You burn. Think about a hot coal. If someone offends you, then you pick up the coal to throw at them. What happens? You burn your hand first. That's what anger is. A coal you pick up, hoping to throw, but burning yourself while holding. But Zen Master, you may ask, what about injustice? What if I'm truly wrong? The Master replies, then act with clarity, not with fire. You can speak truthfully without shouting. You can walk away without hate. You can take a stand with peace inside. Anger never brings true justice, only more pain. Justice with wisdom is like water. It cools, it heals. Justice with anger is like oil. It spreads the fire. Let me tell you a short story. There was a monk once, peaceful, calm, soft-spoken. One day, a man came to the temple and shouted at him. He called him names, accused him, and tried to provoke him. The monk listened silently. He said nothing. The next day, the man returned, more angry than before. "Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Are you afraid?" The monk replied gently, "If someone offers you a gift, and you do not accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The man said, "It still belongs to the giver." "Exactly," said the monk, "and so it is with your anger. What wisdom, what power in silence." The monk did not suppress his feelings. He simply chose not to receive the poison. You too can do this. Anger is not to be fought with force, but dissolved with understanding. Let's go deeper now. There are three faces of anger. Hot anger, loud, shouting, physical, quick to rise. Cold anger, silent treatment, bitterness, inner hate, smiling on the outside, burning on the inside. Hidden anger, long-held grudges, stored memories, deep scars, never spoken, never released. Which one lives in you? Often, we think we've let go of anger, but it still hides inside. In Buddhist practice, we use the power of mindfulness to see it clearly. Next time you feel angry, pause, breathe slowly. Feel where it lives in your body. Chest, head, stomach. Say quietly to yourself, "This is anger. It is not me. It is just passing through." The moment you do this, you stop being the fire and become the witness. Another tool, compassion. If someone hurts you, try this practice. Think, maybe they are hurting inside. Think, maybe they are not aware. Think, if I respond with peace, maybe they will see better. It's not weakness. It's strength, the deepest strength, because anyone can shout, but it takes true power to stay calm. The Buddha taught, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Think about it. That's exactly what we do. We relive old fights, replay insults, feel rage about things that happened years ago. We drink the poison again and again. But the other person, they're living their life. Maybe they've even forgotten. So why do we still carry it? Let it go. Zen Master says, forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about freeing yourself. Forgiveness does not mean you agree with the wrong. It does not mean you allow harm. It means you choose peace over pain. You choose to heal. Sometimes, anger comes from tiredness, from feeling unseen, from sadness, from fear. So ask yourself, what is beneath my anger? When you ask this honestly, you'll begin to heal the root, not just the symptom. Practice this. Every night before you sleep, ask, who made me angry today? Why did it affect me? Can I let it go now? Just by reflecting, you begin to free yourself. Each time you release even a little anger, you feel lighter. You sleep deeper. You live more fully. Zen Master once said to a group of students, if you truly want peace, delete anger before it deletes your happiness. So simple, so true. Let's end this part with a reminder you can carry in your heart. Anger is a visitor, not a master. You can feel it, greet it, bow to it, but you do not have to serve it tea. Let it pass. Like the wind, like the rain, like a cloud in the sky. You are not your anger. You are the vast, open sky, far above the storm. Attachment, the invisible chains. The Zen Master sat under the Bodhi tree, silent, still, and smiling. A young seeker approached him with tired eyes and a heavy heart. Master, the seeker said, why do I suffer so much? Why is my mind always restless? I try to hold on to people, dreams, success, love, but everything keeps changing or slipping away. The Master opened his eyes gently. Because, my child, he said, you are holding sand in your fist and calling it treasure. Attachment, such a small word, but such a big trap. People often think pain comes from loss. But the deeper truth is this. Pain often comes not from the loss itself, but from the attachment to what we thought we had. That thing, be it a person, a dream, a moment, or a memory, was never really ours to own. And still we hold on. Let's begin slowly. In daily life, we get attached to many things, not just people. We get attached to roles. I'm a good mother. I'm a successful man. I'm always helpful. These rules are not wrong. But when we cling to them too tightly, we suffer when life shifts. One day, the child grows up and becomes distant. One day, the job is lost. One day, the world doesn't see our kindness. Suddenly, we feel shaken. Why? Because we tied our worth to something outside of us. Zen teaches us that life is like a flowing river. People, moments, and feelings are like leaves floating by. You can't hold on to them forever. And if you try, you drown. A story. There was once a monk who carried a young woman across a river, something monks usually avoided. His companion was shocked. After they crossed, the younger monk fumed in silence for hours before finally saying, why did you touch that woman? That is against our path. The elder monk smiled calmly and said, I left her by the river. You're still carrying her. That is the power of silent attachment. We carry what we should have already let go. Now, let's look at relationships. Love is not attachment, but we often confuse the two. Love says, I want you to be free. Attachment says, I want you to be mine. Love allows change. Attachment resists it. Think of someone you love deeply. Now ask yourself honestly, am I loving them freely, or am I holding them in a cage I've made in my mind? That cage could be made of expectations, jealousy, control, or fear. You see, attachment doesn't only cause pain to us. It creates pain for others too. It makes us possessive, demanding, and fearful. We say, I love you, but what we often mean is don't leave me, or stay the way I want you to be. But nothing in life stays the same. The Buddha taught that everything is impermanent, anicca. That's not a negative thing. That's a beautiful truth. Because when we accept change, we suffer less. We stop clinging to what's fading and start embracing what is real. When you attach yourself to someone's behavior, you suffer every time they act differently. When you attach yourself to a past version of yourself, you suffer every time life reminds you that you're changing. Attachment is like wearing tight clothes that no longer fit. You can keep them, but you won't feel free. But Master, the seeker asked, should we not care for people or things? Should we just walk away from everything? The Zen Master smiled. Care deeply, love fully, but hold gently. Imagine holding a butterfly. You don't crush it in your hand. You hold it lightly and let it go when it's time. That is the essence of non-attachment. You can own a home without being owned by it. You can enjoy success without fearing its end. You can love a person and still let them grow in their own direction. Let's bring this to daily life. You may be attached to your phone. You check it every few minutes. A missed message makes you anxious. A scene with no reply makes you spiral. This is not peace. This is silent addiction. You may be attached to old wounds. You replay them. You tell the story again and again. Each time, you reopen the same pain. But what if you could let the wound breathe? What if you could say, yes, it happened, and now I am healing? In Buddhism, there's a term, upadana. It means clinging. The Buddha said this clinging leads to suffering. Try this small practice. Take a deep breath and think of something you've been holding on to, a person, a hurt, a belief, a dream. Now say quietly in your heart, I see you. I thank you. I release you. This doesn't mean you erase your memory or stop caring. It means you stop needing it to be a certain way for your peace to exist. Let's now talk about future attachments. So many suffer because they are attached to an idea of how life should be. By 30, I should have this. My marriage should look like that. If I do good, only good should come. But life is not a vending machine. We don't insert kindness and expect a specific reward. We act from truth, and we let go of the result. That is freedom. The Zen Master once told a seeker, chop wood, carry water, let go of the fruit. Meaning, do your work. Show up with honesty. But don't cling to what comes next. One more story. A traveler asked a monk, how do I find peace? The monk said, drop the weight. But I'm not carrying anything, the man replied. The monk smiled. Then drop the invisible one. We all carry invisible bags, filled with past regrets, future fears, old lovers, past identities, failed plans. You don't need to throw them out with noise. Just stop carrying them in your heart. Silently, slowly, you begin to feel lighter. To live without attachment is not to live without love. In fact, it is to love more purely. Because now, love is not mixed with fear or control. You begin to love like the sky, spacious, open, without needing to trap the bird that flies across. You start to let go without bitterness. You stop chasing things. You trust the flow. You trust yourself. You no longer beg the world to give you something it may not have. The Zen Master closed his eyes once more and said softly, you are not what you hold. You are the one who watches. You are not what you fear to lose. You are what remains when everything is gone. And when you understand this, even silence feels like a home. Let go not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to set yourself free. In silence, detach, unchain, begin again. Envy and comparison, the thieves of inner peace. The Zen Master sat on a quiet wooden bench under the old Bodhi tree. A soft wind moved through the leaves. A young student approached with troubled eyes and a restless heart. Master, the student said, why do I feel like I'm never enough? Why does everyone else seem to be happier, richer, better, more fulfilled than me? The Zen Master smiled gently and placed a hand on the student's shoulder. Come sit, he said. Let me tell you about two silent thieves, envy and comparison. They do not shout. They do not break in through the door. They slip in quietly through the cracks of your mind and steal your peace. 1. The beginning of envy. Envy is born when we start watching others more than ourselves. It begins when we see someone else's success and say, why not me? It grows when we measure our own life not by what we have, but by what we don't. The Master said, imagine you are walking your own road, but you keep turning your head to look at the roads others are on. You stumble, you fall. Not because your path was wrong, but because you stopped looking where you were going. In modern life, this thief has many homes, social media, gossip, silent glances, and inner complaints. One moment you're feeling peaceful. Then you see someone's expensive car, or a friend's vacation, or someone's wedding photos, and suddenly, your joy disappears. Why? Because comparison came in like a shadow. 2. The mind's mirror. The Zen Master picked up a clear bowl of water and held it up. This is your mind, he said. When it is calm, you see clearly. But the moment envy enters, it is like dropping black ink into the bowl. Everything becomes cloudy. When you compare yourself to others, you're using a broken mirror. You can't see yourself clearly. You forget your strengths. You forget your blessings. You forget your growth. All you see is someone else's light, and you begin to hate your own shadow. But remember, someone else's light does not make your candle burn less. If they are shining, let them shine. You too, every time. 3. Why comparison never ends. The master smiled sadly. Comparison is a trap with no bottom. Even the richest compare. Even the most famous envy someone. Even the most beautiful feel ugly when they compare. The truth is, there will always be someone ahead of you, and someone behind you. If you keep looking at others, you will never know peace. It is like running a race on a circular track. You will keep chasing someone forever. 4. The poison you drink. Buddha once said, envy is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. When you envy someone, they don't suffer. You do. You create stories in your mind. They're lucky. They don't work hard. Life is unfair. These thoughts become wounds you carry for no reason. Envy never solves a problem. It only deepens it. You do not become better by hating someone's success. You become better by understanding your own journey. 5. Silent comparison destroys gratitude. Gratitude and comparison cannot live in the same heart. One says, I am enough. The other says, I lack. One gives peace. The other gives pain. So every time you compare, ask yourself, am I choosing pain over peace? Am I choosing to see lack instead of blessings? The Master said, the eyes that always look at others forget to see the garden blooming inside their own soul. 6. The story of the 2 seeds. The Zen Master told a story. 2 seeds lay buried under the same soil. One looked up and said, look at the sun. I want to grow toward that light. The other looked sideways and said, look at how fast he is growing. Why am I not growing like him? The first seed grew into a tall, healthy tree. The second seed stayed small, bitter, and angry. Not because the soil was bad, but because he never focused on his own growth. You too are a seed. You too can grow, but only if you stop comparing your pace with someone else's. 7. The fake world of appearances. People show their best on the outside, but no one shows their sleepless nights, their hidden tears, their deep fears. That friend who seems to have it all, they may be silently broken inside. That person with the big house, maybe they have no one to talk to at night. That beautiful face on your screen, maybe they cry themselves to sleep. So why compare your real life to someone else's highlight reel? The Master said, do not trust the smile of a mask. Look at your own face in the mirror and smile for real. 8. Living without the thieves. Imagine a life where you no longer envy anyone, where you are proud of your own path, where you can be happy for others without doubting yourself. That is real freedom. That is what Buddhism teaches, contentment. Contentment is not laziness. It is peace. It is knowing, I am where I need to be. I will grow in my time. I trust my journey. When you delete envy and comparison from your life in silence, you create space. In that space, peace blooms like a flower. 9. How to let go silently. Letting go of envy doesn't need noise. You don't have to shout, I don't care anymore. You don't have to post fake confidence online. You don't have to pretend. To start noticing when the thief enters. Just say gently to yourself, this is comparison. I don't need it. And then, return to your own path. Plant your seeds. Water your soil. Sit in your own garden. The Master said, the most beautiful tree does not care who is watching. It just grows. 10. Practice for today. If you feel envy today, stop, breathe. Now ask yourself, what is one thing I'm grateful for right now? What is one thing I love about my own journey? What is one small step I can take today for me, not for the world to see? Answer these quietly. No one needs to know, but you will feel the shift. That is the power of silent letting go. And so, the Zen Master looked at a student and said, you asked why you don't feel enough. The answer is, you keep looking away from yourself. Turn back inward. Your peace is waiting. The student closed his eyes and smiled. For the first time in a long while, he felt stillness. The comparison was gone. The envy was silent. And the path ahead was his own. Overthinking, the noise that drowns wisdom. The Zen Master sat quietly by the river. The water flowed gently, making soft ripples under the moonlight. A student approached and asked, Master, why do I feel so tired even when I haven't done much? The Master smiled and said, because you're doing too much inside your mind. This part of the journey is about overthinking, a silent noise that many don't even notice. But it lives in the mind and never stops talking. It speaks when we wake up. It follows us into the shower. It travels with us to work. It even whispers when we try to sleep. Overthinking is not planning. It's not solving. It's just endless noise. It's the mind running in circles like a dog chasing its tail. And like that dog, we end up tired, dizzy, and exactly where we started. Overthinking often begins with a small question. What if? What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I had said something else? What if I'm not enough? These what-ifs create worlds that don't even exist. The mind becomes a movie theater, playing films of fear, doubt, and regret, again and again. And while we sit there watching these fake stories, our real life passes by. In Buddhism, the mind is compared to a monkey, always jumping from one branch to another, never still. Overthinking is that monkey swinging wildly through the jungle of thoughts. It grabs one memory, then a fear, then a worry, and it keeps moving louder and louder. But here's the truth. Not every thought is true. Just because the mind says something doesn't mean it is real. The problem is not that we have thoughts. The problem is that we believe all of them. A young monk once asked the Buddha, "Why does my mind never stop?" Buddha replied, "Because you think you are the mind." This is the trap of overthinking. We start to believe that we are our thoughts. But we are not. We are the space behind the thoughts. We are the calm behind the noise. Overthinking steals our now. It pulls us into the past with regret and pushes us into the future with fear. But the present moment, the only place where life truly happens, is ignored. Imagine standing under a waterfall of thoughts. Can you hear your own voice? Can you see clearly? No, that is the life of someone who overthinks. Always under pressure, always in noise. Overthinking also creates problems that never existed. It makes small things feel big. It makes a short message feel like rejection. It turns silence into suspicion. It makes you replay the same moment again and again like a broken song. And this is where suffering begins. Because the mind doesn't stop on its own. The more we feed it attention, the more it grows. It becomes hungry. It wants more to worry about, more to fear, more to remember. And before we know it, it becomes our habit. But here's the gentle truth. We can stop. We don't need to fight the thoughts. We don't need to silence them by force. We only need to watch them, like clouds passing in the sky, like leaves floating in a river. Just notice. Just let them come and go. This is what Zen teaches, not to suppress the mind, but to observe it. There's a story of a warrior who came to the Zen Master and said, "My thoughts are like wild horses. I try to stop them, but they run faster." The master gave him a cup of tea and said, "Drink slowly. Watch how the steam rises. Watch how it disappears." Your thoughts are the same. Overthinking loses its power when we stop chasing it. When we pause and breathe. When we return to our body. When we walk slowly. When we listen deeply. When we eat without distractions. These are simple acts, but they bring the mind back to this moment. One of the greatest tools to calm overthinking is the breath. The breath is always now. It doesn't live in the past or future. When you feel lost in thoughts, just breathe. Slowly, gently, let your breath become your anchor. Another way is to ask yourself, is this thought useful? Is it helping me right now? If the answer is no, then let it pass. Not every thought deserves your time. Sometimes, overthinking is a sign that we don't trust life. We try to control everything in our mind because we are afraid to let go. But life is not a puzzle to be solved. It's a river to be flowed with. The more we let go, the lighter we feel. In Buddhism, we learn that all things rise and fall. Emotions, thoughts, memories, they come and go. They're like waves in the ocean. You are not the wave. You are the ocean. The Zen Master teaches, don't take every thought so seriously. Just because a cloud looks dark doesn't mean it will rain. Just because a thought is scary doesn't mean it's true. Stillness is not the absence of thought. It's the awareness of thought. And from that awareness, wisdom arises. Here is a small practice. When a mind becomes too loud, pause. Close your eyes. Feel your feet touching the ground. Take one deep breath, then another, and simply say, "I am here. This moment is enough." The student once asked, "Master, how do I stop thinking too much?" The master replied, "You don't. You just stop believing everything you think. The path of silence is not empty. It is full of answers. The space between thoughts, that quiet, that is where truth lives. And in that silence, you begin to hear again, not the voice of fear, not the voice of doubt, but the soft whisper of your true self. Let go of the noise. Return to now. Overthinking is not your nature. Pieces, toxic relationships, cutting the cord with compassion." The Zen Master sat quietly under a Bodhi tree. A young seeker came forward with troubled eyes and a heavy heart. "Master," he asked softly, "why do I feel so drained when I am with certain people? I try to be kind, I try to be patient, but still I feel tired, even empty." The Zen Master smiled. "Not all who smile at you bring peace," he said, "and not all who are close are meant to stay." In this part of the journey, the Zen Master teaches the most silent burden of all: toxic relationships. These are not always loud, not always cruel. Sometimes they're wrapped in love. Sometimes they look like family. But inside, they suck the life from your spirit little by little. A toxic relationship is like a vine that wraps around a tree. At first, it seems harmless. It even grows flowers. But slowly, it steals the tree's light, drinks its water, and blocks its sky. The tree doesn't scream. It just stops growing. That is how many people live, smiling on the outside but dying slowly inside. Buddhism teaches us the power of right association. In the Noble Eightfold Path, right speech and right intention are deeply affected by who you spend time with. If you are surrounded by people who blame, mock, manipulate, or take without giving, your inner peace will slowly disappear. There are many ways toxic relationships show themselves. When someone never listens to you, but expects you to always listen. When someone blames you for their unhappiness. When you feel anxious around them instead of peaceful. When you feel more lonely with them than when you're alone. These are signs from life. And the Zen Master says, life whispers before it screams. Cutting ties does not always mean shouting, fighting, or blocking. In fact, in Buddhism, it is taught that silent detachment is the purest path. You don't need to hate anyone. You don't need to hurt them. Just step back, quietly, slowly, with love. Sometimes, people will not understand your silence. They may call you selfish. Let them. They're only speaking from their pain, their patterns. You're not here to fix everyone. You're here to heal yourself. And from that healing, you can offer true peace to the world. The Zen Master shared a story. A disciple once said, "Master, I left someone I loved deeply because they were hurting me, but now I feel guilt." The Master gave him a stone and said, "Hold this tightly in your hand." The disciple did. A few minutes later, his hand began to ache. "Now drop it," the Master said. The disciple opened his hand. Relief rushed in. "That's what letting go feels like," the Master said. The pain was never love. It was the grip. Remember, not everyone can walk your path. Some people are only meant to be part of a few chapters, not your whole book. It's okay to walk away, not out of anger, but out of clarity. You're not punishing them. You're saving yourself. And sometimes the most toxic voice is inside your own mind. The voice that tells you to tolerate pain in the name of love. The voice that says they'll change. The voice that says this is all I deserve. Silence that voice. Listen to your soul instead. In Buddhism, it is said, if you cannot find a wise companion to walk with, walk alone. Alone does not mean lonely. It means clear. It means free. Walking alone with peace is better than walking with a crowd that drains your light. But always, when you step back, do it with softness. There's no need to argue. No need to prove yourself. You're not responsible for others' growth. Only your own. Let them walk their path. You walk yours. Toxic people often return when they see you glowing. They might act kind, speak sweetly, promise change. The Zen Master says, look at the pattern, not the words. Has their nature changed or only their mask? True change is rare. Don't fall for illusions. Protect your peace like you protect your breath. Letting go is not the end of love. It's the beginning of self-respect. When you walk away from pain, you make space for peace. For real friends. For gentle love. For inner joy. The Zen Master ends with this teaching. Let your life be like a quiet lake. Don't let stones disturb it. If someone cannot add to your calm, let them pass like the wind. In silence, in strength, in stillness, you cut the cord. And with that, you finally breathe. Let go, gently, lovingly, completely, and begin again. Craving and desires, the bottomless pit. A young man once came to the Zen Master and asked, "Why do I always feel empty inside? I have everything, a good job, a good phone, good clothes, and people admire me, but still I feel something is missing. What?" The Zen Master smiled and gave him a small bowl. Then he filled the bowl with water. He kept pouring, even when the bowl was full. The water started to overflow and spill everywhere. "This is your life," the Master said. "No matter how much you put into it, if your bowl has no base, it will never hold anything." Craving and desire are like that. They are endless. No matter how much you give them, they ask for more. You may think, just one more thing, then I'll be happy. But when you get it, your mind will already want the next thing. Let's go deeper. Look at your own life. How many times have you said, "I will be happy when I get that phone. I will feel better once I travel to that place. If I get that person's attention, I'll feel worthy. If I earn just a little more, I'll be peaceful." But the truth? When you got the phone, you used it for a few days, then wanted a better one. When you traveled, it felt good for a while, then you returned to the same restlessness. That's the trick of desire. It never ends. Buddhism teaches us this very deeply. The second noble truth of Buddha says desire is the cause of suffering. Why? Because desire keeps you in a loop. It tells you, you're not enough. You need more. And when you believe that, you chase and chase and chase, but peace runs further away. Let's understand how desire tricks us. 1. Desire pretends to be a friend. It tells you that once you fulfill it, you'll be content. But the moment you get what you want, your mind already picks something else. It never lets you enjoy the present moment. It keeps whispering, "This is not enough. You need more." That's not a friend. That's a prison guard in disguise. 2. Desire is addictive. The more you feed it, the more it grows. Like fire. Give fire some wood and it grows. Give your desires what they want, and they grow stronger. You start wanting things not because you need them, but just because your mind is restless. This is why even billionaires cry. Because it's not about how much you have. It's about how much you need to have to feel okay. 3. Desire makes you blind. It hides what you already have. It says, "Don't look at your current blessings, they're not shiny anymore." So you forget the simple joys, your breath, your health, the calm after rain, a deep sleep, a kind word. Desire doesn't let you rest. It says, you'll rest after the next goal. But when you reach that goal, it moves the finish line again. 4. Desire creates jealousy and comparison. When you crave things, you also start watching others. They have a better life than me. Their success is bigger. They are luckier. This comparison burns your heart quietly. It creates a feeling that you are behind. But behind what? Behind someone else's dream? This is not living. This is suffering. Now listen carefully. 5. Desire cannot be killed by force. You cannot just say, "I don't want anything from now." The mind doesn't work like that. The more you fight desire, the stronger it becomes. The more you say, "I should not think this," the more it pulls you in. The secret is not to kill desire. The secret is to understand it, to observe it, and to see how empty it really is. So what can you do? 6. Watch the mind silently. When a desire comes, don't chase it. Don't even push it away. Just watch it like cloud passing in the sky. Ask yourself, why do I want this? What do I believe this will give me? Is it true that I need this to be happy? You'll be surprised. Most desires are just illusions created by habit, media, society, or fear. 7. Practice contentment. Start small. Look around you and say, "This is enough." Feel your breath. Sit in silence. Drink water slowly. Feel the wind on your skin. These are not small things. They are pure gifts. But we miss them when our eyes are always on the next big thing. Contentment does not mean you stop growing. It means you stop being a slave to endless wants. It means you grow from peace, not from hunger. 8. Desire is not always bad, but it needs a master. It's okay to want things, but don't let them control you. You can enjoy goals, dreams, and success, but only when you're not addicted to them. Be like the lotus flower. It grows in muddy water, yet it rises clean, untouched. Be in the world, but not drowned by it. Let desires come and go. Let life unfold. You don't have to chase everything. 9. Craving makes the soul tired. Do you feel tired often, even if you've done nothing physical? That's because craving tires the soul. The constant wanting, comparing, dreaming, planning, it drains your energy. You are always on, always restless. True rest comes when you stop chasing for a while. When you just be. The Zen Master says, if you sit by the river long enough, you will see all your desires float by. You don't have to jump in and chase each one. Let them float. 10. Gratitude is the antidote. Each time desire arises, pause and name 3 things you're grateful for right now. It could be simple. I have clean water. I have eyes that can see. I have someone who loves me. This changes the energy. Desire says not enough. Gratitude says more than enough. And only one of these will give you peace. So, dear listener, craving and desire are not your enemies, but they're not your guides either. If you follow them blindly, they will lead you into the desert, where you'll keep walking, hoping for water. But the oasis is only a mirage. Instead, stop, sit, watch, understand. You already have so much. You already are so much. But you'll only see it when you stop looking everywhere else. And remember, the quieter you become, the more clearly you'll hear what your soul really needs. Not what the world told you to want, but what your heart was whispering all along. The path is silent. The release is gentle. And the freedom? It's already within you. Fear and insecurity, the shadows of the mind. Once a student came to the Zen Master and said, "Master, I feel scared all the time. I worry about my future. I fear what people think, and I'm never sure of myself." The Master smiled gently and said, "Fear is a shadow. It follows you only when you carry light behind you instead of within you." Let us sit together today in quiet reflection and speak of fear and insecurity, the silent thieves of peace. Fear is not always loud. Sometimes it's just a quiet voice in the back of your head saying, "What if I'm not good enough?" Or "What if they leave me?" Or "What if I fail?" And insecurity? It's the feeling that we're missing something, that others have more, that we are incomplete. These thoughts come not because we are weak, but because we have been taught to measure ourselves by things that are always changing: appearance, status, money, likes, approval. But listen carefully. The Zen path does not chase illusions. The Buddha taught that what is not real cannot hurt us unless we believe it is. So let's begin. 1. Fear is created in the mind, not in reality. Fear begins when a mind creates a future that has not yet happened and then believes it as truth. You fear being rejected before it happens. You fear being poor even when you have enough today. You fear falling behind, though you are walking at your own pace. But the truth is, nothing has happened yet. Fear only lives in the stories your mind tells itself. A monk once asked the Master, "What if I fall?" The Master replied, "But what if you fly?" We often forget that life has many paths, and fear only shows us the worst ones. But the worst path is the one we never walk because we're too afraid to try. 2. Insecurity is the voice that says, "You're not enough." You look at others and think they are better. You think they're smarter, prettier, richer, stronger. You think you're behind, slow, unworthy. But you forget, the seed does not grow by looking at the flower next to it. It grows by being rooted where it is. The flower never compares. The tree never worries if its leaves are the greenest. Insecurity is learned. Maybe from childhood, maybe from a broken relationship, maybe from society. But it is not natural. The baby does not feel insecure when it cries. The bird does not feel insecure when it sings off-key. Only humans carry this strange sadness of trying to be someone else. 3. Fear keeps you stuck in the past or future. The Master once asked a student, "Where are you right now?" The student said, "Here with you." The Master smiled, "Your body is here, but your mind is in tomorrow." Fear pulls your attention to the future. What if I don't succeed? What if they don't love me? What if I lose everything? But remember this, the future is not your enemy. It's only your imagination. The present moment is peaceful. When you are fully here, right now, with your breath, your body, and your awareness, fear cannot stay. Try this. Take one breath slowly. Inhale, exhale. Did fear visit you in that breath? No, because when you are fully present, fear has no doorway. 4. Fear grows when you feed it. Like a small fire, fear becomes bigger the more you give it attention. You worry, then overthink, then panic. And now, a single small thought has become a monster in your mind. So what should we do? The Zen way is this. Stop feeding the fire. Don't argue with fear. Don't fight it. Just see it, name it, and let it pass. Say to yourself, I see this fear. It is just a thought. No judgment, no rejection, just quiet observation. You'll be surprised how weak fear becomes when you stop making it your truth. 5. Insecurity makes you forget who you are. When you listen to insecurity for too long, you begin to believe it. You think you're your mistakes. You think you're your failures. You think you're your flaws. But hear this wisdom. You're not your scars. You are the light that survived them. You're not broken. You are human. Even a moon has dark spots, and yet it lights up the night. Do not let anyone, not even your own thoughts, tell you that you are not enough. You are here, alive, breathing. That is already a miracle. 6. Fear of judgment is a cage. Many live their lives trying to please others. They wear a mask. They walk carefully. They never speak their truth. Why? Because they are afraid of being judged. But listen, people will judge you anyway, whether you speak or stay silent, whether you succeed or fail. So why not live freely? The Zen Master says, when you stop performing, you start living. Drop the performance. Be who you are. That is freedom. 7. The more you trust, the less you fear. Fear comes from mistrust of life, of yourself, of others. But trust is like water. The more it flows, the more it clears the dirt. Trust that you can handle what comes. Trust that even if you fall, you will rise. Trust that you are growing even when it feels slow. You don't need to know the entire path. Just take the next step. That's all life ever asks of you. 8. Insecurity can be healed by awareness. You don't need to fix yourself to feel secure. You need to see yourself clearly. Start observing your thoughts. Notice when a voice says, "You're not good enough." Don't follow it. Just watch it. This is called mindfulness. It's the medicine that heals the root of insecurity. The Zen Master says, awareness is the mirror that reflects truth. When the mirror is clean, you see your true face. 9. Fear cannot survive in stillness. When a mind becomes quiet, fear has no place to hide. Meditation is not escape. It is meeting your fears with silence. Sit, breathe, watch. That's all. Slowly, like clouds passing through the sky, fear will come, and it will go. The Master says, do not chase away fear. Let visit, but do not offer it tea. 10. You are stronger than your fear. You have survived days you thought you never would. You have overcome pains that once broke your heart. You have kept walking, even when your legs shook. So remember, fear may whisper, but your courage is louder. The Zen path is not about becoming fearless. It is about walking with fear and still moving forward. Final reflection. In the end, fear and insecurity are not your enemies. They are parts of you that ask for attention. But you are not them. You are the space in which they appear and disappear. You are the sky. Fear is just a passing cloud. Let come. Let go. Stay still. Be free. Let this be the beginning of your silent strength. Regret and guilt, the weight of the past. Once, a young monk came to the Zen Master and said, "Master, I can't sleep at night." The Master asked why. The monk replied, "I think about the things I've done. I feel shame. I feel regret. I feel guilty." The Master smiled gently and said, "Then you are like most people. But that does not mean you must stay this way. Let us speak today about something almost every human heart carries: regret and guilt. They're not heavy like a stone. They are heavier than a mountain, but only because we carry them inside our mind. Regret is thinking again and again about something we did or didn't do. Guilt is feeling pain because we believe we made a mistake. Both are signs of awareness, of reflection, even of love. But when we don't know how to handle them, they become poison. In the teachings of the Buddha, we are not told to ignore guilt or regret. We are told to understand them, feel them, and then let them go, because they are only visitors, not permanent residents. Think of guilt like a candle. If you use it well, it lights your path forward. But if you hold the flame too close, it burns your hand. That is the difference between learning from your past and punishing yourself for your past. The Zen Master told the young monk, when you make a mistake, bow to it. Learn from it, but do not build a home in your sorrow. So many people live like prisoners, not because the world locked them up, but because they locked themselves inside their past. They keep repeating old stories. I wish I hadn't said that. I should have done something else. Why did I let them down? These thoughts become a loop, endless, painful, and exhausting. In Buddhism, we learn the law of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Not joy, not pain, not even mistakes. You're not the same person you were 5 years ago. Not even 5 minutes ago. Every breath is a chance to start again. Guilt and regret are only useful if they help you grow. But most of the time, people use them to keep punishing themselves. That is not wisdom. That is self-cruelty. Once a man came to the Buddha, crying. He had harmed his brother in the past, and now his brother had died. He said, "How can I forgive myself when I cannot even ask for forgiveness?" The Buddha replied, "Then help another man like you would have helped your brother. Make your pain into your purpose." This is the path of right action. We cannot change what has already happened, but we can change what we become from it. Buddha did not ask people to be perfect. He asked them to be awake. Let's try something now. Close your eyes. Breathe gently. Bring to mind one thing you regret. See it clearly. Feel it without fear. Now ask yourself, did I mean harm? Have I learned from this? Can I do something good because of this? If your answers show that you have grown, then you must allow yourself to be free. You cannot walk toward the light while dragging your chains. The Master once said, "You are not your mistake. You are the awareness that came after the mistake." We are all learners in this life. Even the Buddha made mistakes before he became enlightened. But he did not allow his past to become his prison. He made it his teacher. In silence, begin letting go. You do not need to shout your regrets to the world. Just whisper to your heart, "I understand. I forgive. I begin again." Some people confuse guilt with loyalty. They think if they stop feeling guilty, it means they didn't care. This is not true. You can honor someone, honor a memory, and still live in peace. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is freedom. And sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. But you must, because life is too short to carry what can't be changed. Let's reflect on one final story. There was a monk who always looked sad. The other monks asked him, "Why do you frown during meditation?" He said, "I think of all the time I wasted in the past." One day, the Master sat beside him and said, "Then waste no more. Use the present to clean the past. Every good deed now heals an old wound." That monk smiled for the first time in years. If you carry guilt or regret, know this. You are not alone, but you don't have to stay there. The past is not a punishment. It is a place of learning. Live now, breathe now, let go now, and remember, even the heaviest clouds pass, even the deepest wounds heal, and even the oldest regrets can become silent teachers. You are here. You are learning. You are already on the path, and that is enough. Shall we continue the journey? False identity. Who are you really? The Zen Master sat under the old Bodhi tree, watching a leaf dance in the wind. Around him, a few seekers sat silently, waiting. Then the Master began to speak. "Today," he said gently, "I will tell you a secret, one that most people live their whole life without discovering. And the secret is this: you are not who you think you are." A boy among the seekers looked confused. "But I know who I am, Master. I'm a student. My name is Raju. I live in the city, I have parents, and I want to succeed." The Zen Master smiled. "Yes, that's what you've been told. That's what you repeat. But is that really you? Or is that just a name, a role, a story?" He paused for a moment and pointed to a clay pot beside him. This pot, if I break it, does the space inside disappear? No, the space was never the pot. Just like you are not the name or the shape people see, the mask of the world. From the time we were born, people start giving us names. Not just our real names, but labels. You are a good boy. You are weak. You're smart. You're lazy. Over time, we collect all these labels. And slowly, we start believing them. We wear these labels like masks. Some are the mask of success. Some are the mask of beauty. Others hide behind being rich, strong, funny, or important. But none of these are truly us. They're just masks we put on so others will like us, or so we don't feel alone. But when you are alone in your room, with no one watching, who are you then? The identity trap. Many suffer in silence because they are trapped in false identities. A man might cry at night, but never show it because he thinks, I must be strong. A woman may stay in pain because she was told, good girls don't speak up. A student may feel lost, but say nothing, thinking, I must be perfect. Buddhism teaches, the self is a river, not a stone. This means you're not fixed. You are flowing. But when you believe in a false identity, you become like a river trapped in a box. You stop moving. You stop living. Stories we tell ourselves. The Zen Master continued, let me tell you another story. There was once a lion cub who got lost and ended up with a group of sheep. He grew up thinking he was a sheep. He ate grass, walked like them, and feared everything. One day, an old lion saw him and said, why are you behaving like a sheep? The young lion replied, because I am one. The old lion took him to a lake and showed him his reflection. Look, he said, you are a lion, not a sheep. The young lion was shocked, but for the first time, he saw his truth. That day, his roar echoed through the valley. In life, many people are lions living like sheep. They've forgotten their strength, their truth, their nature, all because of false identity. Letting go of roles. Sometimes, we hold on to roles because we fear what will happen without them. A teacher fears being not needed. A mother fears being seen outside her duty. A man fears losing his image of success. But if you let go of the role, what remains? Peace, stillness, space. Zen says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. You're not just a father, a daughter, a student, a worker. You're something deeper, something silent, something beautiful. The danger of comparison. False identity is often strengthened by comparison. You look at others and think, she is prettier, he is richer, they are happier. But what if you were comparing masks to masks? What if everyone is just pretending? There is a saying, don't compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. In Buddhism, comparison is a cause of suffering. Why? Because it makes you forget your own nature. A bamboo doesn't try to be a rose. A river doesn't compete with a mountain. They just are. Be what you are. And first, find what that is. Silence reveals the truth. The Zen Master once asked a student to sit in silence for a whole day. Do nothing, he said. Just observe. At first, the student felt restless. Thoughts came rushing in. Am I wasting time? Who am I without my phone, my job, my schedule? But slowly something shifted. In the silence, she began to feel free. When the noise stopped, she heard something deeper. Her true voice. A soft knowing, not of what she should be, but of what she truly is. Your true identity lives under all the noise. Silence doesn't make you empty. It makes you clear. Why we cling to false identity. So why do people cling to these false identities? Because they are scared. Scared that without them, they will be nothing. But the truth is, without them, you become everything. Buddhism teaches about anatta, or non-self. It means there is no fixed me. The moment you let go of who you think you are, you can start becoming who you really are. A cloud is not the sky. Your thoughts are not your truth. Your face is not your soul. Removing the layers. Imagine your identity like an onion. The outer layers are what the world sees. Your job, your looks, your social media. The next layers are your beliefs. I'm not good enough. I must be liked. I always fail. But deep inside, they're the center. And that center has no words, no image, just awareness. Meditation helps you reach that center. Breathing helps you peel the layers gently. You don't need to fight the false, to stop feeding it. Living without a label. What happens when you no longer live with labels? You become calm, kind, open. You don't need to win every argument. You don't panic when someone misunderstands you. You don't seek attention to feel alive. You just live, like a tree stands in the forest. No need to prove anything. Just being. Practice for the day. Today, the Zen Master gives you a simple practice. Sit quietly for 10 minutes. Close your eyes and ask, who am I without my name, job, looks, or past? Don't answer with words. Just feel. Just be. The answers will not come from the mind. They will come from the space behind the mind, the silent watcher. Conclusion of the teaching. You are not your pain. You are not your success. You are not your history. You are not your fears. You are something deeper. A silent witness. A peaceful presence. A river flowing freely. A sky without boundaries. Don't let the world give you a name. Don't let people define your worth. Don't even let your own thoughts trap you. Let go quietly, like a breeze leaves the branch, like a tear leaves the eye, like a sun leaves the sky at night, only to rise again. And when you remove the false, what remains is truth. And truth does not shout. It simply is. Shall we sit in that silence now? The final release, embracing emptiness and true freedom. So, you have walked this path quietly, step by step, deleting what no longer serves you. You've let go of ego, anger, attachment, fear, comparison, toxic ties, and all the other silent chains. Now, the journey brings you here to the final release. The moment where everything melts into one simple truth. Freedom is not something to gain. It is something you remember. The Zen Master sits quietly under a tree. He speaks, not loudly, but you feel each word like a soft breeze in your heart. He says, when there is nothing left to hold, you are free. When there is no story to protect, you are real. Let's go deeper one final time. Gently. 1. Emptiness is not empty. In daily life, people fear emptiness. A quiet room makes them nervous. An empty calendar makes them restless. A moment without doing anything makes them feel useless. But in Buddhism, emptiness is not nothing. It is everything. Emptiness means free from illusions, free from false identity, free from clinging. The Zen Master smiles. When a cup is empty, you can fill it with anything. When the mind is empty, you can see clearly. Empty does not mean lonely. It means open. 2. Drop the idea of who you are. All your life you've been told you are this, you must be that, act this way, be like them. So you built a self, a role, a personality. But who are you when you stop pretending? Who are you when you are not trying to please anyone? Who are you when there is no fear of judgment? The answer isn't in words. It's in stillness. The Zen Master says, true self cannot be spoken. It is felt like warm sunlight on the skin. Let go of every label. You are not your job, your past, your thoughts, or your pain. You are simply awareness. The watcher, the witness. 3. The river doesn't try to flow. It just flows. Look at nature. Trees don't try to grow. The moon doesn't try to shine. The river doesn't try to flow. It all just happens. Why? Because nature doesn't resist itself. But the human mind resists everything. We say, this shouldn't have happened. This isn't fair. This is not enough. And in that resistance, we suffer. The Zen Master gently reminds, suffering is not from what happens. It is from wishing it was different. Stop fighting with reality. Flow with it. Even your pain, even your mistakes, flow with them, not against them. For freedom is when nothing sticks. Imagine your mind as a mirror. Thoughts come and go, but they don't leave marks. That's freedom. But for most people, the mirror is sticky. A harsh word from someone, and it stays stuck all day. One failure, and it clings for years. One rejection, and it becomes identity. Let go. The Zen Master says, when a bird flies across the sky, it leaves no trace. Let your life be like that. Don't let anything stick. Experience it, learn from it, and release it. 5. The silence behind all noise. Life is noisy. notifications, arguments, opinions, worries. But behind all that, there's a silence. Always present, always calm. Meditation is not just sitting with eyes closed. It is touching that silence, feeling the space behind your breath, the calm inside your storm. The Zen Master explains, you're not your thoughts. You are the silence behind them. You don't have to escape the world to find peace. You just have to stop feeding the noise. 6. Gratitude is your final weapon. When the mind is busy, it always looks for what's wrong. But when you are silent, you begin to see what's right. Gratitude is not saying thank you as a habit. It is seeing the beauty in the smallest moments. A sip of warm tea, the smile of a stranger, a breeze on your skin. That's where freedom lives, not in huge goals, but in tiny awareness. The Zen Master teaches, he who knows he already has enough is truly rich. 7. You don't need to finish the journey. You only need to take the next step. Many seekers want to become fully awakened or completely free. But that's just another trap of the mind. Truth is simple. You are not on a path to become someone. You are returning to who you always were. There's no race, no finality worth, no competition, only the step, and then the next, and then the next. The Zen Master says, the tree doesn't rush to grow. It trusts the season. You don't have to be perfect. Just be present. 8. The world doesn't need your pain. It needs your peace. Sometimes people hold on to pain like a badge. I was hurt. I was betrayed. I was ignored. Yes, all that happened. But what now? Will you carry it forever? Will you gift your pain to others, in your tone, in your energy, in your choices? Or will you become the one who ends the chain? Let your healing be your silent gift to the world. You don't have to shout your strength. Just live it. Breathe it. Be it. 9. Say less. Be more. The Zen Master doesn't talk much. He smiles more than he speaks. He walks slower. He listens deeper. And people feel peace around him. Why? Because peace is not taught. It is felt. You don't need fancy words. You don't need to argue with others. Just embody calm. Be the still one in the storm. Be the quiet light in a noisy room. That is the Real teaching. 10. Before you leave, give yourself permission to be free. This is the last part of the journey. The final release. You've walked far. You've seen your shadows. You've understood your mind. Now release it all. Not because you should, not because the Zen Master says so, but because you are ready, and because peace is your birthright. Close your eyes, breathe, and just be. No guilt, no anger, no musk, no fear. Just you, in silence, with nothing to prove. The Zen Master speaks one last time. You have learned enough. Now live it. Walk gently, speak kindly, let go quietly, and return often to the silence within. Final words from Wisdom Woven. If this journey touched you in even one small way, remember, this space is here for you. Wisdom Woven is your home for peace, truth, and silent transformation. But there's something we must say. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. Why? If these words gave you calm, or clarity, or even one deep breath of relief, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's a small action, but it helps us reach many more hearts in silence. Thank you for walking this path with us. Until next time, be still, be light, be free.